Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel. My wife and I have had a dream of cruising the Caribbean. We fell in love with this beautiful Regal 4260. Unfortunately, over the last 20 years, it had fallen into a state of disrepair. Join us on our journey as we restore this amazing boat and fulfill our fantasy of traveling through the Caribbean. On today's video, we're going to discuss scrubbing the bottom of your boat, that is. Ideally, when the bottom of your boat needs scrubbed, you would be in beautiful, clear turquoise water with amazing visibility. Unfortunately, if you're like us, a lot of times when the bottom of our boat needs clean, it's in brackish or very murky water. So today, I'm going to go through some of the techniques and tools that I use for cleaning the bottom of the boat. Some boat owners will just pay a diver to come and clean the bottom of their boat. There's an old saying by Paul Harvey that only in America would a man with an $800 treadmill have a $1,200 riding lawnmower. That saying has always stuck with me, so I mow my own yard and I clean my own boat. Another reason to clean your own boat is that you know the quality of the work being performed. On the day of sea trials, when we were performing the survey on our boat, no matter what the surveyor tried, he could not get the boat to get up on plane. So when we pulled it out of the water to see what was going on, the amount of crustation and drag on the bottom of the boat prevented it from getting up on plane. Imagine the frustration of the prior owner who was now having to pay to clean the bottom of a boat that he had been paying a diver for the last 2 years to clean. Let's talk about some of the equipment and tools that I use when scrubbing the bottom of the boat. One of the first pieces of equipment that you're going to need is a wetsuit. A wetsuit is invaluable when you're under the water, you're up against pylons that have a lot of barnacles. There's going to be a lot of sharp stuff underneath the boat and around the boat. A wetsuit just keeps you from getting torn up. Another good piece of equipment to have is a good set of booties. If you're able to touch the bottom, there's going to be a lot of stuff that has settled over time. Another thing that you're going to need is a good set of dive gloves, or gloves that will protect you as you're cleaning the surface of the boat. The very first time that I cleaned the bottom of our boat, it was covered in crustaceans and barnacles, and I didn't think anything about it. I destroyed my hands. It looked like I had been in the middle of a knife fight just because there's so many sharp edges under the boat. Another item is a good dive mask. It's obvious you need to be able to see to be able to clean the bottom of your boat, but more importantly, having good peripheral vision, having a mask that doesn't fog up. Also, I recommend a good anti-fog gel or spray for your mask. Another very important thing is fins. Whether it's swimming around the boat, a technique that I've found to also use fins for is that if the water's too deep to stand up in, but just shallow enough that I can tip up the fins and use them to propel myself or hold myself in place off of the bottom. They are an invaluable addition because you exert a tremendous amount of energy as you move around the boat scrubbing it. Now, the most important thing you're going to need is actually a way to remove the algae from the bottom of your boat. One of the things that I've found works great is just a simple Scotch-Brite household scrubber. I've put the links in the description below. It works great, it's inexpensive, you don't need anything super fancy. All you're doing is just getting loosely attached algae off the bottom of your boat. One of the things that I found very helpful is a headlamp. I personally like the Fenix HM65R. Most dive lights that I had found were around 300 lumens. The Fenix headlamp is actually 1400 lumens. Now, it only has a capability of down to 2 meters, which we're talking about 6 feet. Well, I don't have to worry about that because I'm not going at depths greater than 6 feet. It works great for scrubbing the boat. Another thing that I've found to be very helpful is having a flashlight. Just that additional amount of light, or to be able to shine it in a slightly different direction or angle while you're cleaning the bottom of the boat, comes in handy so frequently. I personally use the Fenix 35E flashlight That one is 3,000 lumens. Another benefit of that flashlight is that it comes with a rechargeable battery that is also compatible with the rechargeable battery that is in the headlamp that I recommended earlier. Another thing that I recommend is a good dive knife. You're diving in brackish water that has predators, both freshwater and saltwater. So having a good knife, just in case you have that really bad day, is also a necessity in my humble opinion. Another thing to consider is earplugs. You're swimming in very dirty water, simply throw those in, helps keep all of that dirty water out of your ears. Another thing to consider is a weight belt. When you're under the boat, scrubbing the bottom, the last thing you want is those couple extra pounds constantly floating you back up to the surface and you're having to fight to stay under the boat. The first time that I was getting ready to dive under my boat, a friend of mine gave me this great suggestion. He said, go out, get a regulator with a 50-foot hose that you can attach to your tank. That way you can leave your tank on the boat. You don't have to worry about chipping the gel coat. You don't have to worry about carrying a BCD. You can just simply keep your mouthpiece in, breathe, and you can travel the entire length of the boat. That has been a lifesaver for me. My recommendation would be find a local dive shop that can make you a 50-foot hose. I think I spent $350. Great, best money I've spent. Two additional tips that I would like to add. One is I just take a simple string, construction line, something of that nature, and create a loop on each end to the tool and to my wrist. You are going to drop stuff under the water, and if you don't have a way of attaching it to your body, you're going to lose it. You're not going to find it in that brackish water. Well, maybe. One time, one of my fins fell off and I didn't realize it. And so I went down looking for it. And I'd finally given up hope of ever finding it. And so I went back to scrubbing the boat with one fin going around in circles. Meanwhile, something brushed up across my leg and all I saw was this very thin line like this. And my heart went to all of the bad places of things that it could be in the water. Thankfully, it was just my fin. We haven't talked a lot about how to actually keep your orientation in murky water. One of the techniques that I found to be very helpful is to start at the rear of the boat along the water line and clean your way down to the first strike. Now that is only going to be a couple inches, but work your way till that strike is out of the bottom, out of the water line, then go to the back of the boat, move down between that strike that you just cleaned down to, and then the next one, and work your way till you're out of the water line once again at the front of the boat. And as you continue to work your way down the boat, it helps you to keep yourself oriented. One final thing that I recommend is while you're at it, check the condition of your zincs. Check the condition of your rudders, props, because if you can use that ounce of prevention to prevent a pound of cure, there's nothing worse than having lost a prop, especially if you would have noticed that a nut was coming loose, or if all of a sudden you start to get electrolysis on your boat because it was time to replace zincs. So it also gives you the ability to do just a little bit of preventative maintenance that can cost you big in the long run. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, comment, like, and share. But most importantly, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you again on a future video.